Kevin Spacey.
Yes.
Also an Academy Award winner.
Yeah, yeah.
He does what I think is a pretty good impression of you.
Well, I don't.
Al Pacino, one of Hollywood's most powerful and unforgettable actors, needs no introduction. From The Godfather to Scarface, his passion and intensity have shaped the world of cinema for decades. But while his work on screen is legendary, things behind the scenes haven't always been so perfect. Pacino is known for being brutally honest, which has sometimes led to tension with fellow actors. Here are the top 5 actors he reportedly had the most clashes or unfriendly moments with, showing that even the greatest stars face their fair share of drama. 5. Johnny Depp.
Doing a scene with him.
Yeah.
Are you aware while acting that he's great?
No.
During a rare interview on Larry King Live, Al Pacino spoke about how deeply connected he is to his acting. Back in 1997, while filming Donnie Brasco with Johnny Depp, some trouble on set caused problems during the movie's production.
Again, with your partner, it's as though if you were playing tennis, you just hit the ball back and you're going this way and that way, and you're in sync as much as you can be, and you're playing with each other. You're not observing the other person. That's really for the director to do and watch. You know, you're in.
It is due to the fact that Johnny Depp focused on perfecting physical details like voice, gestures, and body language, often staying partly in character, even off camera. Meanwhile, Al Pacino aimed for deep emotional involvement, fully experiencing his character's inner feelings rather than just acting on the surface. This fundamental difference led to tension on set.
Here I am going to work with Pacino. I'm thinking, I'm not going to get lucky twice. There's no way. This guy's going to hand me my ass. Because he looks like the kind of guy who's going to hand you your ass.
In a different setting, Johnny's story honestly shows how intense the clash between two very different acting styles can be. Facing a legend like Al Pacino, known for his serious and demanding approach, Johnny's joking was a way to handle the pressure. Al's strict seriousness and Johnny Depp's playful attitude made their on-set relationship quite volatile. Pacino's focus on emotional authenticity contrasted sharply with Depp's dedication to detailed craftsmanship. As Al Pacino said, there are two kinds of actors, gregarious and shy, and their ways of working can sometimes clash. To me, this kind of clash reveals how strong personalities and different creative visions often lead to real tension behind the scenes, even among the all-time favorite actors.
I'm like psychotic. I can't stand not, being able to joke around on set and things like that, so I have to. And that was the moment I realized he was absolutely out of his mind. No, but really, he's certifiably insane. I wouldn't spend a night anywhere near his house.
Their hatred showcased that actors also struggle to find common ground when their artistic visions differ. Yet, it's often these clashes that push performances to new heights and create memorable cinema. Although it is not confirmed, it is also rumored that during a pivotal restaurant scene where Pacino's character was meant to teach Depp about mob life, Pacino felt that Depp seemed detached and not fully emotionally present. And Pacino reportedly asked Depp, "Where are you right now?" in an attempt to foster a deeper connection. But the next actor on the list might just shock you. Number 4. Leonardo DiCaprio. Al Pacino and Leonardo DiCaprio are two famous actors from different times, and even though they never acted in the same scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, their very different ways of working showed an interesting gap between old and new acting styles.
I do these movies because I really love movies and I want to.
In a Talk.com discussion, Leonardo DiCaprio described his intense preparation process, known for his serious and detailed way of preparing for a role. He goes far beyond just learning lines, but DiCaprio hires people to help him research everything about his character and the time period of the story. He shows up early on set and really tries to get inside his character's mind. He spends a lot of time on costume fittings and learning about the culture and history of the late 1960s to make sure he gets every detail right. For him, no detail is too small.
Who do you think has been your favorite co-star to work with?
Favorite co-star to work with?
I can't say that.
Leonardo DiCaprio once faced a question about his favorite co-star during a Q&A, but he cleverly chose not to reveal the answer. Al Pacino, who has been acting for more than several years, works very differently. He doesn't focus on tons of research. Instead, he trusts his instincts, his years of experience, and his emotions to play his parts. For Pacino, acting is about being natural and letting feelings flow in the moment, not about planning everything out perfectly. While DiCaprio prepares very carefully, Pacino relies on what he feels right then and there. Al Pacino once said, "Acting is not about being someone different. It's finding the similarity in what is apparently different, then finding myself in there." In my opinion, Al Pacino's insight beautifully highlights that true acting connects our shared humanity, revealing common emotions beneath diverse experiences. To add more to their story, Pacino later shared in his book Sonny Boy and several articles circulating that a long 21-page scene he shot with DiCaprio for director Quentin Tarantino was cut down to only 2 minutes in the final movie. Although he was disappointed, Pacino didn't blame Tarantino. He even said that the movie helped bring him new fame later in his career and introduced him to a younger audience. Even though their performance approaches are very different, DiCaprio's careful method and Pacino's emotional instinct have greatly influenced modern movies in their own ways. Their story reminds us that every generation changes how acting is done, sometimes by disagreeing and sometimes by learning from each other. Number 3. Dustin Hoffman. People often talk about Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman together, but surprisingly, they have only acted in one movie together, Dick Tracy, 1990, even though they worked in similar kinds of films at the same time. In an industry where actors usually collaborate more, this seems like a deliberate choice rather than a coincidence. During the 1970s, the two were often compared and seen as rivals because their careers and acting styles were very similar. The rivalry became so well known that one producer even suggested they settle in the New York City way in the boxing ring. In a special interview, Sidney Lumet talked about how Hoffman and Pacino acted very differently. He said Hoffman is very careful and pays close attention to every line and movement. I think this makes his acting very real and detailed. Pacino, on the other hand, acts more with feeling and in the moment, which makes his performances full of energy.
He's a passionate artist. He knows what he's doing. He's got a firm technique. He's very pure.
Even Sidney Lumet, a director who worked with both of them and knew how to manage strong personalities, never put them in the same movie. If anyone could have made it work, it would be Lumet. But maybe he knew these two wouldn't get along. Neither Hoffman nor Pacino has ever talked about each other in public, not even in a neutral way. One of the most interesting stories is about a movie that was supposed to be about the Attica prison uprising. Both Hoffman and Pacino were connected to different versions of this movie, but it never got made. So it's not surprising they didn't get along well off camera. Fans have waited for them to work together or at least make peace, but it hasn't happened. No movies together, no public meetings, not even a simple hello at events. In the end, both Hoffman and Pacino are great actors, but the fact that they never worked together or even talked about each other publicly shows there's more to their story. Number 2. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a popular actor known for thrilling movies and performing daring stunts himself. Al Pacino, a legendary performer, brought unforgettable characters to life, especially in The Godfather, and he once talked about it as a turning point in his career.
It was a difficult adjustment because on top of being, at the time, being in a successful film like Godfather, at least me, to deal with success, it was also difficult to deal with visibility. The newspapers once described me as shy and retiring, and I thought that was very comforting to hear.
In a 1993 BBC interview, Pacino described how the sudden visibility after The Godfather was difficult for him to adapt to, saying he preferred blending into his surroundings rather than being in the spotlight. This struggle with fame and personal space makes the behind-the-scenes stories from Michael Mann's 2004 film Collateral all the more relatable. Rumors surfaced about the tension between Pacino and Tom Cruise during early planning, as both actors brought very varied modes to their roles. Because of these different styles, it's said they didn't get along well. In my opinion, it's understandable why clashes happen when two strong actors have very different methods. Conflicts are almost inevitable. These issues may have led to Pacino leaving the project suddenly, though no official explanation was given. Although they never worked together on the film, the tension fueled rumors of a professional rivalry. This might be the cause of the reshuffling of the cast, with Cruise taking on Vincent's role and Jamie Foxx stepping in as Max. It seems like Pacino and Cruise approached their characters in totally opposite ways, which probably made working together really difficult. While Pacino relied on a more instinctive and passionate style, Cruise preferred to prepare every detail carefully and methodically. Those contrasting methods definitely created some tension between them. Number 1. Kevin Spacey. During the filming of Glengarry Glen Ross, 1992, it's been circulated online that there was some behind-the-scenes tension between Kevin Spacey and Al Pacino. The reason was rooted in the distinct ways they brought their characters to life. Kevin Spacey liked to plan everything and act in a very controlled, exact way. Al Pacino, on the other hand, acted more from his feelings. He liked to go with the flow and be more natural.
Just say ridiculous question. Godfather, greatest film of all time?
Yes. But I also, look, I'm allowed to change my opinion. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about movies.
In the Lex Friedman podcast, when Kevin was asked whether The Godfather is the greatest film of all time, he appeared somewhat confused and didn't give a direct answer. Instead, he quickly shifted the conversation to a different topic, almost as if he was trying to avoid giving a clear opinion. This made it seem like he was uncomfortable or hesitant to share his true thoughts about the movie, leaving the question hanging without a solid response. And just like that, I think maybe that's where some misunderstanding could lie between Kevin Spacey and Al Pacino, two strong personalities with different views.